Bearcat Bounce Podcast. Back at it again. It's a Monday. It's a Monday following a special long week filled with unbelievably fun activities from one team rejoining the Big 12, causing quite a stir. Deion Sanders will be coming to Nippert now that's all said and done. Another Monday where the TBT basketball team, the Nasty Natty, still live on air the whole second half, coming up live while we're on the screen. Another Monday, of course, where leading up to the start of camp for the football team and a lot of excitement there as the storylines arise. A Monday with a lot of things going on in the NFL. Two commits to the football program as well. And then, of course, it's a Monday where we have other off-season activities for the basketball program. Big-time milestones being met. So that means it's a Monday where we bring on one and two familiar faces with me, and then an extremely special face. So without further ado, Aaron Smith, Chad Brendel, and Mike Rayfeld. Gentlemen, how are we?
We're doing great. How about you, Mike?
I'm just watching a little bit of TBT here as we check in with you guys. So gonna try to stay locked and engaged with you guys as much as I can, but my eyes are peeking over my phone right now, just checking out this halftime stats. So
we're all doing the same, so don't feel bad. It's kind of a live watch party.
Yeah, right.
For the second half, so we can react and talk about it as it happens. It's all good.
Team is loaded with my former guys, so I have to be locked in with them.
All I gotta say is, damn Gabe York, man. Jeez, every single time.
30.
Unreal.
Oh wow.
But tomorrow, essentially, football starts here in Cincinnati. We've got the press conference with Scott Satterfield. I just released about an hour ago the exclusive BCJ camp preview with Scott Satterfield. So I thought, what better time to get that one little last peek at basketball before football dominates everything, and no person better to do that with than my good friend, the founder, the creator, the master of the Monster Factory, Mike Rayfeld. Is that good? Was that good?
That's pretty well done. I don't know if I'm the creator or founder, but there's some nicknames that go around campus. Our new senior executive of health and wellness, Brad Pike, he calls me the Monster King. And Coach Hong, who wins, she's also the Monster King. So we're co-Monster Kings down at Monster Factory for men's and women's basketball. But heavy is the crown. But thanks for having me. It's had a great off season, and we'll dive in a little bit with any questions you guys have.
Let's get first. How has it been for you as a strength coordinator over the past 3 or 4? Like, I know you weren't here for a small window, but this trend of everybody turns over half or more of their roster, it feels like, every offseason. What has that been like as a guy that's in charge of that, to not have the type of continuity when Mick was here and you were here? It was like 2, 3, maybe. If you had 4 new guys in an offseason, it was like, oh, Lord, like the roster looks completely different. Now it's 6, 7, sometimes 8 guys every year. What's that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a challenge. It changes things. Typically, you have 2 to 3 freshmen, maybe a JUCO transfer, maybe a grad transfer. Very few in my tenure at Cincinnati. So you have 10 to 12 guys that kind of know your system. Now it's half or more than half your roster is new guys, so that you're teaching them from the ground up. Just what's our culture like, communication skills, what each exercise looks like. So start from the ground up. Even just for me, like collecting the data on the guys, like their force plate data, sports science data. It's you're throwing out some of that stuff versus having 3-4 years of data on guys. It's a whole new ball game. But it's an interesting challenge. I think it's unique, and if you're good and you're looking to add value in the program, how can we look to be able to retain these guys and help our staff recruit from a sports forum standpoint?
Kind of along the same lines, you're watching the Nasty Natty right now, and on that team is, of course, all guys that you have had a familiar time with, but guys that came into the program as freshmen and then stayed and grew in the program as well. I mean, now it's the world of the transfer market, the transfer portal, this, that, and the other. Is it a little different when transfers come in and you kind of have to, maybe tell them to drop what they were doing at Memphis in Lander's case, or drop what they were doing over there in Utah Valley, or listen here, Temple does this, we're not doing that here. Is it different having the transfers in rather than just the true freshmen and having them grow?
No, my background is mostly in NFL, working with pro athletes. My biggest sell to each one of these guys that come here, we're trying to create a professional partnership with them. I'm not saying, there's lots of different ways to do it. We do have our way we want to do it, is the way that Wes wants to do things. I need to be, echoing what he wants from the program and his leadership. But at the same time is, what do we want to do from a physical development side? And we do have, UC way, but at the same time, I do want input from players from, different schools, even at a high school. Like, what do you prefer here, this and this and this? And if the player feels like he has a little bit of buy-in, that may create a little more internal motivation for them, and that they'll work harder and we have a better professional relationship. So, yeah, I mean, it's both, but I'm not a person that's going to draw a line in the sand. We're going to find a way to get these guys better from a physical perspective to help them obviously play better on the court and help us win some games.
How about how cool has it been seeing the Nasty Natty team? Kind of, obviously last year was a weird little, one hit in and out, but now they're creating a lot of buzz around the city and a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah, I'm locked into it right now with Trey and Keith coming back is really cool, and it's all my guys. Like we talk about, I had Trey for 5 years. It was one of my first Troy and Kevin freshman class. I had them 4, Jacob 3. It's awesome to see you guys play together.
Awesome.
Let's talk about the picture that had Bearcat Nation buzzing recently with the progress of one Jameel Reynolds. He is built like an aircraft carrier. When he got here, when I heard where he was at when he got here and I saw him, I'm like, he doesn't look like that. Like he carries his weight well. So is it difficult to take a guy that carries that well and still transform him and get him in a better physical condition?
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of track records and examples of guys that have made that transition. For one, like Coriante DeBerry, speaking of TBT, when he first got here, he was about over 290. He ended up playing at 265. I've had a few other guys that are just bigger than they need to be to play basketball at a high level. And to us, mass equals gas, and they need to have a better miles per gallon to go up and down the court, especially in the style that Wes wants to play. So at the end of the day, though, like all I can do is provide structure, supervision, and try to prescribe the best exercises for these guys. We do have a registered dietitian now and a whole sports nutrition department at UC that helps me do my job better, to prescribe them and help them give some guidance. But at the end of the day, it's going to be really up to the player, right? So I give him 100% of all credit of all the pictures and everything he's done. I'm not taking much credit other than providing some structure and supervision from that standpoint.
Talk more about
Jameel. How much is he cut? I don't know if you don't want to talk weight and body fat. Like how much is he really? What progress has he made that we saw in that picture?
The most incredible progress I've had of any player in that amount of time. You can say plus 30 pounds lost. So I'm not going to disclose where he was or where he's at right now, but we still have work to go. There's coach's big thing is there's no finish line. There's no finish line in his physical development as a player, and he's really talented. So I'm excited to work with him.
How much bigger? Speaking of Corey, how much bigger are Corey's hands than anybody you've ever dealt with?
Yeah, if he was fortunate enough to get invited to the NBA Combine, I believe he had the biggest hands ever measured. He had 12-inch hands from thumb to pinky across. It was, if you look deep in my social media, I think it's still back there. Some of the pictures of his hands are massive.
And they're like this thick. They're like a catcher's mitt.
It's unbelievable. I think there's a picture, like have tennis balls or something.
Yeah,
10 tennis balls in his hands. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, Wembanyama's got the 12-inch hands right now, but he's 7'5". But Corey's obviously just a mass, and he's got those mammoth hands as well. But as far as Jameel goes, another kind of thing on social media that caught a lot of storm, a lot of buzz was that video of him hitting the max jump record. And I thought that it was his own personal as a Bearcat. But Chad then texted you last week, and Aaron was right. Aaron, you're muted, by the way. Aaron was right, but it was a Bearcat record. Mike, go ahead and explain that.
Yeah, well, Bearcat in my tenure, right? Like I don't
Right.
have Kenyon Martin's, touch.
Right.
I don't have those records, but in my time, in the Monster Factory era of sports performance, it is a record. And that piece of equipment was maxed out, and I wasn't ready for someone to go. Honestly, all full disclosure, I wasn't ready for someone to go and max that out on that day, even though these was pretty close also. So what I have to do for the next step is I have to put some blocks under it and get, you can get a 12.6, 12.8 touch. So he cleared 12.4, and he probably could have had more, honestly. And he was not, obviously he was already knew he had the chance of it because he was super explosive and super athletic, even with his extra weight. And then he obviously lost the weight, and that just his explosiveness can shine now because he's not wearing a weight vest on. So pretty impressive approach vertical.
It's insane. It's insane.
And those guys we have a very, very long, very large team. There's both those guys, all their staying reaches are close to 9.2, 9.3. So just them standing there, they're close to the rim, which helps you. It doesn't matter exactly. It doesn't always matter how high you can jump. It's who's jumping faster, who's jumping quicker, who gets the ball faster. And you have two guys that can jump 12.3, but who's getting there faster? Like Aziz, I'm sure you're going to ask him. He's like a super quick jumper. He can get there faster. He's just a off the ground guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, because he had the video earlier in the summer where it looked like he kind of levitated a little bit in the air. So,
and that's without max touch or max vertical would be approach vertical, where guys are coming in from a running start.
Right.
The no step is literally 2 feet. You can't hop, can't bounce. You just go up and go. And Aziz can clear the vertex at 12 feet with a no step. So pretty impressive. I've only had 2 guys in my career able to do that.
Got to be the biggest team that you've had during your time with the Bearcats, right?
Yeah, by far, longest, by far biggest team we haven't ever had this size.
Is that different to train? Is it kind of a more of a limb? Got to figure things out for that, or is it just we'll adjust and roll?
Large guys. Especially the last couple of years, we've had 7-footers. So it doesn't change just the amount of athletes we have at that position, right? So it doesn't change my exercise prescription or anything from that standpoint.
Okay.
Now, you had another guy who set a record in Day, the new Day.
The new Day, right?
And he set a record as well for speed. And we've been hearing people talk about elite speed since a former Bearcat took off for Utah. But good to see somebody else setting a different record as opposed to just being bouncy, since we know this team is obviously long and at a position where you certainly need some speed.
Yeah, no, he's super fast. And, that was obviously these tests we're measuring physical qualities, right? Has nothing to do with basketball skill. So putting a basketball in someone's hands is going to change some of that. But what I want to measure is, are they getting faster without basketball skill involved? So is my program making faster, stronger, more explosive? Really, that's what the combine testing doing with some other stuff. So he did get faster. He broke a record in a 3-court sprint. Honestly, I worked in the NFL. I think he has like NFL defensive back type qualities as a athlete. He's super explosive. He's physical. He's like 188. He's 6'1". 6'2". You could play in the NFL, I think, if he had NFL skills. Physically, he could.
Speaking of NFL, one of the things that was missing from last year's team was explosion and that ability for a guard to get downhill. How much different is it now with Day and with Jizzle in terms of having guys that have that pop where they really can turn the corner and beat you to the rim?
Yeah, I'm not coaching the game. That's Wes's thing.
No, but the explosion is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. It's all recruiting, right? it's all if coaches recruit faster, stronger, longer players coming in, it's going to make me look better. Obviously, I can make those marks better, but if they're not super explosive, not long, not strong, maybe we can move the mark so much. So definitely makes me look better, and hopefully that shows up on game day when guys are getting to the rim and able to finish through contact and maybe get some dunks.
Does he play and look like a NFL running back would
Yeah.
look?
I mean, both. I mean, not running. Like you talking about Jizzle or
Jizzle? Yeah, Jizzle.
I mean, it's different than it was. So you got
it's different than it was.
Physical point guards that can get up in people. They're super explosive, super fast. Similar in ways, but different in ways. So, I mean, I think it'll be exciting to watch.
How about Seems Lukosius is a guy who kind of has a little bit different of a body frame, if you will, and he's kind of said that on record and podcasts and interviews about how he's not the most explosive player, but he's someone that has the high IQ. How's he been in the workout room? Are you trying to hone in a little bit more explosion out of him, or is it just kind of shaping?
He's been awesome. Actually has really good leadership. There's some guys that have to put a lot more energy and time in, and he's not one because he's a self-starter. He has maturity. He knows where his goals are, so we are working on getting him more explosive, better conditioned. Obviously, body mass and body fat percentages, all those things to make him better on the court, so he can have a higher rate at 3-point percentage. It's like same thing we tried to do with Landers Nolly last year. Now, can he get into 40% shooting percentage when his career high, just because he's in better physical condition, a better shape, his heart rate's lower when he shoots the ball. So it's the same concept, just trying to increase all his physical abilities so he's more comfortable shooting and obviously play defense, fight through screens and all those things. But he's big. I mean, he's much bigger than I thought.
His lower body is like thick.
Yeah, he's got like a Gary Clark lower body, where Gary's from the waist down he's a monster, which that's what you want in basketball. You don't need a top heavy guy. You don't need guys running around looking like me.
Let's talk about Dan. Dan kind of looks grown up now.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he's filling out a little bit better and a little bit more mobile and explosive. I've been impressed with the work he's put in this offseason.
Yeah, so I mean, it's what we talked about before with the transfer portal and having guys, a guy with me for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or just one. So you're taking a freshman that he got here. All the 3 freshmen got here in early June last year, and they got so many new things coming at them. They got on the court. They got class, the new place to live. Where do you get food? All these new things. And then they finish their freshman year, and some of those things are more comfortable. Plus, they're more comfortable in the weight room. So you'll see a huge just bump in their, physical development and their performance just because they're more comfortable and familiar with things. But yeah, he's. I mean, he was like 192 when he first got here. He's 215. We don't really, you don't need him too much heavier. Just keep on getting better shape, getting stronger, so he can have great balance and finish at the rim and get us some more offensive rebounds. He's excellent at that.
Yeah, definitely one of the better rebounders on the team last year.
The Houston game was a proud shows, obviously other than the results, but him going in, fighting, scrapping, and showing some Bearcat toughness was awesome as a freshman. It's big time.
So you a few hours ago you tweeted out the Bearcat of the Summer award. Monster of the Summer. There you go. Odio Guama. Is this a new thing? I'm trying to remember if you guys did that last year or not.
No.
Is this something you just came up with?
Yeah. So we started, or I started tracking some. It's not just lifting. It's nutrition. It's all these factors that go into physical performance. So him and John Newman. I've been touting about their leadership all summer, and Odie edged out John Newman just by a little bit, and just. Not on top of his physical increases this summer. And he's about 12 pounds heavier than he played at last year, which I think he needed, and slow him down and have more stable at the rim. But at the same time, just the maturity, him showing how the freshmen and even the transfers come in. This is how we work at UC. He's with Wes and myself for 3 years now. Same with John Newman. Same with Victor. this is the way we do things. That like to answer your question you said earlier, this is those are the guys that are going to help you, and we only got 3 guys. You include CJ Anthony, 4 guys that can do that multiple years. So big. So he was the monster of summer, first one. It's a new award, and I'll be tracking it every year.
We're talking about OD.
What's that?
Go ahead, Brent.
Did he sign the back? Is that going to be a carryover chain?
Every year we're gonna have a new guy, and I wish this is something I wish I started in 2012. I'd have a bunch of cool names on there, but better late than never as we're going into the Big 12 here. So,
well, you were talking about Odie, and you brought up Vic. Have you been how impressed have you been with just the growth that you've seen out of them over the course of the last, I guess, 6-9 months at this point now?
Oh yeah, I mean, incredible growth by Victor. When I first got here, obviously he didn't play his first year, and then he came back, and he's coming off of surgery and slowly got him in better shape. And there's questions that could he make it through a season? Could he make it through practice?
Right.
Made it all the way through. Last year he took a step until he had the ankle injury at Tulane. He was doing great till that point. And then this year is we're going to take that next step where, it's all about his conditioning, and his durability is going to be huge for us this year.
Let's go.
Nasty Natty.
There we go.
You got 48.
And then here we go. Trey Scott.
Trey.
Let's go, man.
So question, Mike, as much as you can with all your knowledge that you have, what is the rest versus rust? Is that a true thing? Because obviously a week off for the Nasty Natty, they came out looking a little bumpy.
Yeah.
And of course, Friday Beers has played, what was it, 3 games in the past 5 days?
This is our 4th game in 6 days. Yeah.
Right. Rest versus rust. Is that a myth, or is there some validity behind it?
I mean, I like to use my experience as so if we're in the conference tournament and we have to play that first game, and you're playing the team that had time off, you'll have advantage in the first half usually because you just played a game. Now it's the second half where it's going to change things up a little bit just from a conditioning and fatigue standpoint. So yeah, I think it's more beneficial to be playing live than game speed than practice. You can't simulate a game in practice. So not so much rust or rest, but just the game speed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it should help you out as we go farther into the game. As you get warmed back up, hypothetically, they drop a little bit. You are a little bit fresher.
Started a little rusty. They haven't played in a bit. The Friday Beers team, which is the most bizarre name ever. They started out hot because they were more game ready, and then you're seeing it change now. So we'll see how the outcome is. But yeah,
all right.
The game is showing true to what we're saying.
We could keep you here for an hour, but I know you got a couple little ones that need daddy upstairs. So I will just ask one final question. How much nicer is Cincinnati than Storrs, Connecticut?
So every year when we played them, which we had a nice record against them in my time, I always said, because the trip there was always the worst. You fly into Hartford, you got to get on a bus, you got another hour, 15-minute ride to Storrs. And I was like, this would be one school I would never go to. And then, a unique opportunity to go there. So it had nothing to do with that. But it's kind of a funny story because I always said that. But, certain things happen in your career, and you have to make certain choices to get better. So it was a great experience there, actually, to get more about it, just seeing a different program run, different way to do things, and actually I think it helped my professional development.
Do you get a ring?
I told equipment manager, I told our equipment manager, Andy Friggy, to text their equipment manager my ring size, but nothing came in the mail. But
you want me to text Danny? Text me your ring size and I'll send it to Danny.
You might call. Very good. I'm happy for them. Obviously super jealous, but extremely happy.
But to let people know what I know, people have their opinions on Danny. He's a friend. I know him personally. He's a colleague and a friend of yours. You know him personally. The night after he won the national championship, he sent me a text about Kelly. like the night after, still in the glory of hoisting the trophy, he sent me a text about Kelly. So he's an awesome dude.
High level guy, high level family. I mean, success leaves clues, and he's doing great things there. His whole family. So it's, big time.
But
I'll
between
text
those
him on
lines,
my behalf and just say, hey.
He's a huge Bengals fan, so that gives him
the biggest.
Yeah.
How much did he bug your wife about the Bengals?
He'd bug me to bug my wife. So I would be brought up to the office some days, and I'd be like, okay, he's gonna ask me about a player, and he'd be asking me about some Bengals rumor.
Yeah. I love it. He's nuts. He's the best, but he's a crazy person. All right, man. Go get back up to the little ones. Tell Elise I said hello and give her my love. And I will see you on campus soon, my friend. Thank you so much for the update.
Yeah, put the kids down and lock into this game, 2-point game. So,
come back soon.
You've been a good luck charm, Mike. So hopefully keep watching. Let's go. Thanks, Mike.
There you go. Director of Performance, Strength and Conditioning Coach for the Cincinnati Bearcats basketball program, Mike Rayfeld. There's nobody in the business better.
Yeah,
nobody.
And he's great dude too. Obviously, always chops it up with you before the games and always there. Oh,
2-point game is now 8.
They hit another 3. Yeah.
You're ahead of us. Spoiler alert.
Good old Aubrey Dawkins on that UCF team. That was actually a lot better than.
How about UCF trying to claim Friday beers just because Aubrey Dawkins plays for him?
How about UCF tries to? They try to claim everything.
Yeah, that's what they do. They're like, the assistant coach's nephew was a ball boy for us one game in 2014. Go Central Florida.
Put a banner up.
Central Florida Golden Knights. I tell you what, just down here, I'm in Florida, and you turn on the TV, they're all talking about them on the news, and it's a hot ticket down here. But I tell you what, I can't really stand the guys. And it's funny that Colorado's already caught on to it. It's funny that all these new potential additions to the Big 12 are just this UCF squad. They're the worst. The absolute worst.
The worst. Everybody catches on quick. It doesn't take long.
No. Gosh, I was hoping to dive in more with old Mike there, but a short but sweet. We were able to get the good updates we needed. Obviously, I would love to hear some inside stories. I went back and listened to, you guys had him on the BCJ pod last year, and if you want, I suggest go back and listen to that. That was a little bit more of some good stories, his background, this, that, and the other. But hopefully he's able to instill a little confidence in this nasty natty team. 1 of 13 from 3 right now so far. It's not the recipe to pull out a big victory. Not the recipe.
But still right there, especially with Elam ending. You just have to get hot here at the end and get this down to about 3 points as you go into the Elam ending. You're right where you want to be.
They still have plenty of 3-point plays. They just not the traditional.
Right.
So, what was your guys' thoughts on seeing the Odio Guam getting the inaugural monster of the summer from Mike?
I mean, not surprising. Odie's a workout warrior guy. It's always been something that he's been known for, is the work that he puts in the weight room and in the off season. So not something that totally shocks you, right?
Right.
That's awful. Give me a fucking break. That's 3 terrible charges on Jaron Cumberland.
Yeah, that one in the first half, and
the first one was
literally
worst.
Backpedaling. Yeah.
Are these AAC refs?
Gosh.
Jesus. I mean, he was falling backwards, not even close.
The worst part about it is, in this tournament setting, by this point, the scouting report on Jaron is that's what he does. So if they're remotely close, I feel like it's going to go against us, but it is what it is.
The first one wasn't remotely close, though. That was the thing.
No,
it was terrible.
Come on, guys.
Terrible.
He had
Terrible.
1 foot still in the air. It wasn't even just shuffling. It was still
Right. No, he was running backwards, scared, terrified.
with his arms here. Anyway.
Horrible. Anyway, some more news basketball wise. The home and home against Georgia Tech announced. Initial thoughts when you saw that, kind of seemed like it was a pretty good addition to the schedule, especially when you're playing in the Big 12. Just having a somewhat brand name team that people know. ACC squad. Obviously, they aren't really tearing up the scene. New coach Damon Stoudemire. I don't know. Just thoughts on the right. Just thoughts on the Georgia Tech home and home, and maybe how it came apart. Chad, do you know anything about that?
No, I don't. It's a good fit for a home and home, especially getting for that first year. One of the things you really want in a home and home is getting that first year in your gym.
Right.
So a good fit there. I don't know that they've got a little bit of excitement at Georgia Tech right now with a new coaching staff, and some talent infusion on their roster. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a good, definitely a good fit, and fits kind of what they needed in terms of adding one more game to that schedule to give it a little boost.
I believe people are trying to put the schedule together, maybe one or two more additional names that have not been announced yet. But yeah, it looks like for the most part, the Bearcats will not be heading out of the greater Cincinnati area, potentially. But more to come on that, obviously, as the schedule announcement will eventually come forward. But I don't know. We'll see. My thought is exactly what Wes said on the Rothstein pod last week, and this, that, and the others. Unless you're Kansas and Bill Self, who kind of just puts together an insane out of conference schedule, you don't really need any big time games out of conference. Yes, you definitely want them, especially for like the fan draw. But overall, you're going to have enough chances in conference play to really do something if you need to. So I'm all for it. Chad, I saw your fist pump. I would imagine something good's about to happen here.
Kick out the three.
Yep, Trey.
There it is.
All right, there you go. If they win this game, hey, you are psychic. Insane. If they win this, obviously it goes to Philadelphia. I don't know when that first game would be for the Final Four, but who knows? It's just it was rough when they were down 16 in that first half. I was like, well, guess it's a good thing we're starting the pod early, but now it's like
need a bucket right here before the stop to set the Elam ending. They're down 7, 64-57. Would help to get one on the board right here.
Well, you might be the guy to let us know if that happens. But yeah, the psychic. But anyway, Gabe York, don't like him.
He played for Sean Miller. What's the like?
I know. Terrible. Trey has been a great addition. Let's see if they take that patented timeout.
They do.
Yep, there we go. All right. Well, this is great podcasting. It's always interesting doing a live game analysis when you listen to it the next day and you're like, wait a minute, am I just reliving the previous day? But
if we were going to get Mike, we had to go at 8 tonight. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
And the thing is, like, it's just awkward if we try to bring Mike in the middle of camp. Like, everybody wants to hear about camp. They want to know what's going on, so it's just an awkward spot. Like, we had to get him on today, even Wednesday for the BCJ pod. Like, that's camp day one. So, it's unfortunate and a little bit inconvenient. I'm sorry. I know the numbers are low because everybody's watching Nasty Natty. But yeah, we'll make it work.
This could be a heated post-game meeting area if the Nasty Natty doesn't get to 72 first. So we'll see.
Need a little run.
Gotta need a run, man. But either way, this TBT thing has been fun. I know it's obviously a interesting summer league feel type thing, but it's been competitive basketball. It's been fun to watch, and this game especially has been fun to watch. So,
it's obviously
it's like these are pros. That's what we talked about. Like these are guys that play high level basketball. Like it is not. I know people say it's a pickup game. The defense in this is nothing like a pickup game. Like they had Nasty Natty scouted early in this game. Like they were drop coveraging on Jaren. They were sucking guys over. That like the second charge, the guy was guarding Troy. He was 30 feet away from Troy, waiting for Jaren to come down the lane. Like there's real scouting reports. There's real coaching.
Wasn't a charge.
The second one was close. It probably wasn't. The second one was at least close. The other two were terrible. But no, I disagree that it's pickup basketball. It's actually a pretty high level, especially you're in the Elite Eight. Like these are teams that are like really good guys that are playing professionally for solid money, not guys that are freelancing around trying to, make $2,000 playing
relive the glory days
basketball. Yeah. Like that's not what this is.
Ah, come on. 72 is the score needed to get to. And by the way, I'm going to continue to say it because I said it yesterday as well. I do love the old Elam ending. Let's see.
It's great for this. It's great for an all-star game setting. It's great for this setting.
Yep.
64-59 is where we're at. So we're gonna watch this together as we come down the stretch here. This is gonna be difficult because I'm 10 seconds ahead of you guys. So I won't react.
I don't believe you.
You know what? I kind of hope you react because I told myself I wasn't going to get worked up over this summer TBT, but here I am.
Did you put money on it, Brent?
You know what? No comment. No comment here.
But you're in Florida, right?
I am. I'm in beautiful Florida. Oh God, kidding me? Oh, trash. Gamble guy with some trash.
Yeah, I think Brent and I are pretty much at like the same mark.
Yeah. Oh man.
This isn't good.
How's Florida been though, bub?
It's been good, man. It's been good down here. Had a couple meetings, and now with the fam, and had to peel off and do. Oh my gosh! Oh, geez, Pete. Okay. Yeah, it's been good. The weather's been solid. It was really stormy today, though. Kind of went and saw the sister down in Boca, where they're still loving the FAU. Oh no. All right. 66, 59. It's great podcasting here. Once this ends, we will roll on to the football talk. As Chad, you tweeted it out, kind of. Yeah. What? Oh.
I was just going to say we didn't really do the how are we. That was the only reason I was asking how Florida was.
Exactly. I threw out the how are we, and it was because we needed to get our 20 minutes worth of Mike, which I got why Chad did what he did. That was and it was kind of dead air. No one was really talking. Everyone was watching the game. How are we, Aaron? How are we?
I'm doing just fine. I mean,
how's the weekend?
Not much to report. I mowed. I mean, no, I don't know. I didn't do much here. We had a weekend without baseball. Now the season's over. So,
did you miss it?
Let's hope this isn't the case for that.
Yeah, we are gonna have to figure some things out because I looked at my daughter's volleyball schedule. A lot of Mondays.
A lot of Mondays?
Not next week, but the week after. I think we've got 5 out of 6 Mondays. She's got a game at 7:00.
Mm. Well, looks like it's a Tuesday night pod.
Do they live stream?
No, they do not. There's no live streaming, unfortunately. I don't think Tuesday nights are going to be an option, Brent. So you guys might have to go early part of the pod without me from time to time,
Or Sundays.
like every Monday. Yeah, maybe.
Sundays until the season, because then that'll be the.
I mean, it's
Bearcat
into
brunch.
September. Like I'm talking most of the way through September. I've got Monday nights every week.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll get her figured out. Man, I tell you what, I'm not liking this.
No.
Need that magical run that they had, the little 16-4 run that they were on earlier in the first half.
Yeah.
But
They're gonna have to go on a 10-3 run here. We got problems, boys.
let's see what happens.
And Julian Campbell is just
he's
crushing them.
And D Bost. How about some of the names on this team, man?
Yeah, D Bost was a one-time Bearcat recruit.
Yep.
I remember early in my give me one that's not a foul, and two, you get a ball like that bounces off the backboard and back to him.
What did you think of the mic'd up refs in this game?
I don't mind it. I mean, there's a lot of dump button.
There was a lot of dump button.
Like a lot of dump button.
Immediately telling D-Boss, we are not doing this today. We are not doing this. Gosh, if the Natty would have just been aggressive from the get.
No, I mean, you have to find out that you can't make 3-pointers all day, I guess.
Right. True. And just hope it's not too late when you find it out.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like Mamadou had 2 early. You had Trey Scott airballing 1. You had
Keith fired one up from the corner. Yeah, it was just everyone getting up their first shot. Troy missed a couple, and it's just seeing if they're hot, seeing if it's their night. But like we said earlier,
it's not.
No,
the only 3 early on was by Letcher Ellis, right?
Yeah. Then Jaron hit one I thought was a 3, but I guess they ruled out a 2.
Yeah, that little like double clutch in the corner.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to matter.
You're going to need a 10-1 run.
Need a 10-0, 10-0, 10-1 run here to close this thing out.
Well, lock in defensive stops, baby.
If you foul, that throws them to the line with the ball back, right?
Right. You can't. You get. Yeah.
Yep. 1 free throw.
Although they didn't do it last time. They gave him 2 shots. I thought it was
one
free throw in the ball.
If it's like a off-ball foul or not shooting foul.
Like they did it both ways last time. I don't know.
But Friday Beers, you know what Friday Beers is? It's a wannabe Barstool type ordeal.
Yeah. Dana Beers, Friday Beers. Saturdays are for the boys. Friday Beers. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get behind that. Oh, well, Chad, how was I guess we'll ride out.
Ride it out. You might as well ride it out right now. Yeah. We're going to get people joining. I'd retweet Aaron.
Yeah.
When this is over.
I'm watching on my phone, so
as
soon as it's over.
Do we get like a 10-second of silence for a little tears or something?
I mean, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, at least they got to the Elite Eight, man.
Yeah, I mean, some teams have never been to the Elite Eight of the TBT.
Hey, that's a fact. Even if they host the first couple rounds. Oh, here it comes.
Pretty much.
We'll see Chaz's reaction. See if we live to fight one more possession.
Potentially.
We do.
I think they need to go to 24-second shot clocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The only reason I wouldn't like that, Aaron, is you're not playing with teams that really have played a ton
High
together.
offensive, yeah.
Well, yeah, they're not playing together a ton.
Right.
So one of the things that helps it, if you play together a bunch of 24-second shot clock makes more sense.
Oh my
If you're
gosh.
scrambling together, yeah, that was a terrible pass by Jake.
Missed Mamadou on the cut.
I think he just didn't want to throw it to Mamadou.
Yeah. Oh, makes sense.
All right.
Gamble's like a poor man's Joakim Noah, right? Like
kind of, yeah. Like garbage, like trash
talking the whole game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just grimy all the way. Well, you got to get 8 more.
It could happen. Crazier things have happened.
Are they trying to go for the Puma final shot? Is that what the development is that we're waiting on every time they have the ball?
I don't know who's wearing the shoes this time.
I mean, is Friday Beers trying to do that?
Right. Maybe if old Gabe York's rocking the Pumas.
I mean, they are, because he just took a 30-footer and bricked it.
Oh yeah, that's a foul. Oh man, golly.
All right.
Well, Brent, did you want to do a Danco read while we're waiting, since we didn't start off with one of those?
Yes, well, as the when the TBT Nasty Natty's on and you're watching them on your phone while you're driving, you might hit a pothole a little bit too hard.
Hoping the wheels don't fall off this team.
Right. Ooh, I like that.
You're welcome.
If the wheels do fall off and you can't really get it figured out, you can head over to Danco Transmission and Auto Care, and they can get you hooked up. $10 off your next oil change, 10% off your next fixing. So Danco Transmission and Auto Care, Danco. Love you, Danco Joe. And I hate that made shot. Okay. Well,
it was a garbage shot.
Was that D-Boss too?
I don't know.
Whatever. All right. Well, I turned.
It's a hell of a run.
Yeah.
Fun run.
It was. That was a fun little time in the summer,
And you got to be the Cincinnati team out of the Xavier bracket.
they had to say it every time.
We were Cincinnati.
I mean, the weird thing is, like, why are they calling that the regional? And then you go to the elite. I don't know. It just
no, because a regional is the Elite Eight is the end of the regional.
Right.
I guess just for travel, the thing you have to consider is these guys have to cover their own travel. Yeah. So they do the first 3 games at one place, then they have the regional final at one of those 2 locations.
Yeah.
And then the final 4 is in Philadelphia. So technically UC was in the Dayton regional, but the Xavier region, if that makes sense.
Thing that sucks is that we could have played the Purdue team, and my boy Kelsey Barlow found himself on the top 10 of the Sports Center top 10 with his dunk on Friday Beers, but Friday Beers ended up winning, and now they win again. So Nasty Natty's run has come to an end, but it was fun.
This is also a good precedent for what's to come.
Right.
Now they know, they've gotten together, they've done this, they've made the run. Now you've got some momentum going into next year. Okay, let's win this fucking thing.
Yeah, and it honestly seems like Kashmir Wright is a pretty damn good coach too. They had him in that huddle. He was saying things, and immediately Robbie Hummel was like, everything that Kashmir Wright just said is absolutely right. So it's like, all right, well,
Cash. I mean, we've had Cash on a bunch. He is a super, super smart dude.
Mm-hmm.
And he can coach. I've been super impressed by Cash. The 3-ball just didn't fall today. If they hit 5 threes, they win this game. It stems the tide, and they don't get down 17.
Did you see that Coach was there? Coach Wes Miller was there?
Yeah, he was there. Yeah.
Which is awesome. Supporting. And you know what? Why not throw in a couple more,
How about
recent.
the Tobler fam on TV?
Yeah, I thought I saw
I saw
Tobler
him a
there
couple
wearing
times.
wearing the nasty natty shirt.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Man.
Well,
Hey, it was a
I
fun.
mean, I don't
run.
know how much post game, like,
Yeah.
they didn't shoot the ball well. It took them a little while to get going, and they never were really able to overcome it.
Right.
And that's a loss.
You chalk any of it up to changing the chemistry of the team?
No, I chalk it up to initially Friday Beers had a really good plan on stopping Jake and Jaron.
Yeah.
Like they really sold out on we're not going to let those two get us. And they didn't. And by the time that they both got going, they were down 17 points. Like that's way more than like Trey played great. Keith played really well.
He did.
So, they actually helped because
Mm-hmm.
of the way Friday Beers defended Jake and Jaron. Those two were able to kind of to give them a lift and get them going again.
Well,
And when that happened,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when that happened, do you think Cash felt obligation to put some of the guys who helped get them there in?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. I mean, I didn't see it like that.
They made that monster run when Keith and Trey were both on the court, and Jake was on the bench. So then Jake came in. They kept pushing it and tied it up at one point. But
look, I mean, this is kind of what we talked about last week. Like, there was going to be a point that Jake and Jaron weren't great,
right?
Because they were great all 3 games at Centos Center.
Yep.
Like, they averaged 48, 49 points a game between the two of them. They were incredible.
Leading scorers, 1 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah, they were good tonight. They weren't great, and they played a really good team. Like, that team's got a bunch of dudes on it. So, sometimes you lose.
And what Hummel said, what I was getting ready to say is that he said this is by far the best quarter that Friday Beers has played in the entire tournament.
They played out of their minds
in that first quarter. Yeah. So
making 35-foot threes.
Damn, Gabe York. Go back overseas. I guess he played a couple games for the Pacers this past year. I don't really quite remember that, although Pacers were kind of just scrounging at the end of
Come on, former Pacers beat guy.
I mean,
that was another life.
The whole Indianapolis Colts drama is really strucken up, but it was cool to see Alec Pierce catch that bomb from Anthony Richardson.
Bomb.
It was bomb. But they've got some whole messes as well to figure out. Anything more basketball wise? I mean, obviously there's gonna be a lot more coming up as things get closer to the season. So, Chad, with giving Odie the monster of the summer, does that mean like summer workouts are they done for a little bit, or are they kind of, do you know what that calendar is as far as practice and whatnot for the basketball side of things?
Yeah, it's June and July. So tomorrow is no longer June or July.
Okay.
So it's done. Yeah.
Probably more team stuff now. And
no, nothing.
On. Oh, nothing. Oh, damn.
Nothing from now until the start of classes.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, cool. Well, hey, man, that's basketball. Anything? It's not much recruiting side.
There'll be a lot to keep an eye on. I think there's going to be a bunch of visits here for the next couple weeks.
Yeah,
a lot of young unofficial visits, and then as football season starts, official visits as well.
Just reading through Twitter and whatnot, it looked like it was that opening Big 12 game against Oklahoma
that might be. I don't know how many they're going to bring in. I don't know exactly like how this is going to look. But that might be the biggest visit day, both official and unofficial, in the history of the program.
Yeah. Which, why not? Gosh, give me a nip at night game for that. I know they probably won't do it, but man, that'd be pretty. That would be pretty.
Yeah.
Well, and nothing more for basketball. You go ahead and timestamp this and roll into football talk, and then get that mailbag all worked up, and
You're
if
not
people
the
hop
boss of
in
me.
to say their sorrows about the nasty natty, then we'll be shoulders to cry on here as well. But go ahead and hit them with that. Hit 'em
Quick
with
Paper
that.
Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. Quick Paper services over 150 restaurants with weekly low minimum next day deliveries, providing a wide range of food service products from to-go containers, cups, custom printed, eco-friendly, and much more. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all your janitorial needs. Call Nick at 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases.
Boom.
And we do have spots here open on the BBP if you're looking to get your business out there. I think we're almost full on the BCJ pod. So we have a bunch of spots here, or not a bunch, but a couple little areas you can jump in and get your company out to the largest community of UC fans on the internet. So hit me up in my DMs, hit me up on Bearcat Journal, whatever it is. And you can get your spot as an advertiser right here on the BBP.
There we go, baby. Fire it in. I did want to just add on a little bit, Aaron, to you mentioning Wes was there. That one of my buddies that was also there said that Wes was out there looking like a fan, standing up, doing cheers. It was pretty cool to see. So
TBT actually, the only reason I even knew was TBT tweeted a video of him doing like standing and like yeah.
okay, there we go.
I retweeted it, so
I love it. That's that's our guy. Our guy right there, Wes Miller. Speaking of our guy and the guys, Scott Satterfield, the guy on the football side of things. Chad, I know you tweeted it. What is the schedule for the old football team as things are firing up this year?
I'm not allowed to tell you that.
Oh, you tweeted
Like,
it.
no, I did not tweet it. I tweeted that today I was talking to Scott Satterfield. Tomorrow there's a press conference with Satterfield and the offensive and defensive coordinators. And then Wednesday is the first practice.
Yeah, that's all I was asking.
Yeah. The camp schedule, I'm not allowed. That's it's embargoed.
Okay.
Top secret. Nobody's allowed to know stuff. Okay. Just know this. I will be there. I can't be there one day this week because I've got Cincy 360. But I think I will be at every other practice, and Keegan will be at every practice. And then I know you guys and Dave will work yourselves in whenever you can make it out. And we're gonna have a load of coverage on Camp Higher Ground. More than any, I can guarantee this. We have more and better coverage than anybody in the market from Camp Higher Ground this year on Bearcat Journal.
There we go. That's exciting, and kind of we'll kind of play off the storyline. Well, first off, how was the chat with Scott? First off, really awesome having Coach Satterfield on after continuing to carry that torch. That of course he had to sit down with Luke the last few seasons. How was everything with Coach Satterfield?
It was great. We went position by position through the roster. Obviously, we can't get as detailed as I would like,
right?
Because then it would be a 2-hour video, and I did have when you do these things, you have a time limit,
right?
But he was very gracious with his time. We did it in 3 parts, kind of like we have always done. Where you get 10 minutes of general camp talk, then you get 10 minutes of offense, 10 minutes of defense. Tried to hold true to that format. We have done that in 3 parts before, and monetarily it probably would have been better for us to do it in 3 parts. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have so much coming that it made more sense for the viewer, for the listener, to just put the 30-minute video out and get that to everybody tonight ahead of the press conference tomorrow and then the first practice on Wednesday. like it just made more sense to do that. So Aaron is going to lose like $40 on his check this month because I just had to make an executive decision. Sorry, Aaron.
He'll make it up when he'll make it up when that next sponsor comes pouring in for the
Yeah.
DDP.
I guess it's a good thing Brennix is off formula.
Oh, okay.
She's still in diapers though.
Yeah, I know.
Whole milk, baby.
You can't win them all. Baby steps. No pun intended.
Is it whole milk now? Is that the the roll?
Yeah,
There we go. Yeah, I'm down here. My my little nephew, man. Aaron, these kids are handfuls. I tell you what. So, I definitely feel your pain. Chad, you had to make breakfast for 15 kids this weekend.
No, so Kelsey had a sleepover, and she had her birthday party Saturday night. She had a sleepover with 6 of her friends, so 7 teenage girls in my house Saturday night. I went to bed at 3:30. They were still up. That wasn't great. You don't trust 7 13-year-olds in your house while you're asleep, but luckily she's got a good group of friends, and they were well behaved. But so I thought Kelly's family was up here for the birthday party.
Right.
And I thought, hey, let's be nice and invite them over before they drive back to Nashville, invite them over for breakfast. And my plan in my head, I'm like, these girls aren't going to wake up for breakfast. Like, they were up until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was. And so I fixed breakfast, and I went, like, peeked in her room and gave the courtesy, like, hey, breakfast is ready. And they were all freaking awake.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, okay, we'll be down in a minute. So then, 8 people over here for breakfast, and then 7 teenage girls come storming down. I made almost the exact right amount of food. There was like 1 pancake left. There was 2 biscuits left.
Okay.
There was almost no gravy left. Like it was just the right amount of food. But I went to bed at 3:30. I woke up at 8:15 and cooked breakfast for a lot of people. And then I dropped her off at my best friend's. Her and a couple of her friends stayed. Dropped them off at my best friend's pool and came back and took a nap.
Hey, there we go, man.
So
those are the good naps. That's a good nap right there.
It wasn't long enough, but
okay,
They never
was still good. They never are.
Never
the one today, I did get one today.
Yeah.
I did the interview with Satterfield. I was waiting for it to upload. It was a high resolution video, so it took a while. The kid went upstairs with the puppy, and I laid on the couch and slept for like an hour and 45 minutes. And I woke up and I was like, that was all right. We're good. Now I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight, but Keegan's there tomorrow. I'll make him do the work.
This is what dreams are made of, baby.
Yeah.
Golly. Well, back to the football side of things. Obviously, go and watch the interview with Coach Satterfield.
It's really good. Really good. Like, if you're looking for insight, and there's some surprises, I think, coming Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be surprised by a couple things Wednesday.
Okay.
Based on his answers today. I think the offensive line isn't going to look maybe how I thought it was going to look. That wide receiver room is going to be really interesting to watch. Who is taking reps with the 1s, who's with the 2s, who's maybe not a starter, but rotating in with the 1s. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be a fun camp, man. Not only position battles, like we're going to get some position battles that I do think realistically more of things are set than we maybe think because there's so many new and moving parts.
Right.
But there are going to be some position battles that we haven't really had because under Fickle, once he got things rolling, it was kind of, all right, we know like when Wiggins and Forrest left, we knew Cook and Hicks had next.
Yep.
Like, I think there are going to be a couple position battles that are going to be interesting. And we haven't had that in a couple of years. Like, we haven't had that to write about. And if we wrote about it, we were lying to you. Like, we knew this is the guy that's going to be the starter.
Right.
There's a couple spots this year that we don't know that, but I'm going to let that play out.
Yeah.
As we see those first couple days of camp, and then we get out to higher ground and things start evolving. There are going to be some storylines that are going to be, very much worth watching and very interesting this season.
Satterfield's kind of definitely he's definitely an open guy. He doesn't really hold back. He's able to spill answers that he that you're looking for if you ask the right question. Could you have a sense of like kind of a reserved confidence or kind of like a little air of like what, people are still doubting us big time, this, that, and the other, or was he kind of
I think that I definitely I don't think he I don't think he is like a poke the bear type of guy. I think I think mainly what I gather from him is there's a confidence that he has in his offense. Like he's been running this offense for a long time. There's a confidence that he has that this offense, I know what it's about and it's going to work. So I think that is different than the perception of this offense, which is we don't know like how this thing is going to play out. We don't know like what they're going to have, what they're not going to have. So I think that was telling that he didn't seem. I think if the changes happened, the mass changes happened on defense.
Yeah, I
think maybe there would have been a little like, like I trust Brian Brown, but like we got to. I think he looks at this and goes, "No, I've got guys I've worked with, pretty much coaching everywhere on this offense. I got guys that I know, and we have faith in what we're doing." I do think like left tackle and right tackle, both tackle spots, we're going to have to find out. Like there's 3 or 4 guys. I will drop a big one. I mean, maybe one of the biggest things that surprised me from today. Did you watch the video?
No, not yet. Okay. Can I guess it though?
Yeah.
Cam Jones starting left tackle.
No, he's playing guard.
Whoa.
He's on the 2 deep at right guard.
Okay. Sheesh.
Wow.
And if you watch the video, Sat goes more in depth on it, but talks about he had some problems athletically kicking out at that size and having the speed to handle what they know. Like this is one of those Satterfield coached in the ACC. He knows what Power 5 football looks like.
Right.
Cam wasn't at the level that they thought he needed to be at some of the athletic, the outside movement stuff. So they won him at right guard, which we saw it with Metz and it worked with Metz when he did it. So
how is he ever going to be a wrestler if he can't kick out?
It's a fair question.
I mean,
he'll be a heel. Make him a heel. Do those guys have to kick out?
He's going to kick out with his heel.
You do. That's when you get out of a pin. It's called a kick out, Brent.
Okay.
It was a joke. It was a double entendre.
I like the double entendre.
If you can't kick out, then you're just going to get pinned all the time.
Gosh.
Nailed it.
I mean, it was good, Aaron.
So was that the
better ones? Was
that the big one there?
I mean, that's one of the more surprising revelations.
Yeah.
Of the interview that they had moved him inside to guard.
Yep.
There's some other really good stuff in there.
Okay.
So I would highly advise, if you haven't watched it already, watch it, subscribe, and subscribe the channel.
Hit the like button, subscribe.
Yeah.
Unsubscribe and resubscribe again.
Doesn't cost you anything.
No, doesn't.
And
another thing is like these national podcasts and national media, this, that, and the other, they are very low on the Bearcats as a whole. I think the main reason is kind of the unknowns at
sure. I don't like normally if I would be upset if I thought it was wrong, and I think they're going to finish higher than 13th. But if I was looking at a team that had as many unknowns offensively that Cincinnati has, I would be skeptical in a league where you got to score to win. Like I would be like, I don't know about that team. We don't know what their offense is going to be.
Yeah.
I think it's fair. I I don't hate it. Like,
Right.
I don't like it because I don't think it's going to be correct, especially with the way the schedule sets up for Cincinnati. But I also just think it's I don't know.
Right.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Aaron doesn't know. Dave doesn't know how good the offense is going to be. That's just the nature of the beast. And honestly, if Ryan Montgomery doesn't start at running back, they will have 10 new starters.
Yep.
The only returning starter will be Gavin Gerhardt. And I don't think Ryan Montgomery is going to start at running back. Now, Montgomery has proven to be, kind of like a cockroach. He doesn't die. He pops up, and next thing you know, he's the starting running back. But if Ryan Montgomery doesn't start at running back, and really it was Chuck for much of last year. So you could technically say there are going to be 10 new starters on this offense. To me, if you're not skeptical of that,
right?
Like, what are we doing?
I know.
We're lying to you if we're like, no, I've got no question. This offense is going to be, fine. But Scott Satterfield thinks it's going to be fine. So we'll see.
And you know what? The evidence as well of that, the confidence that they have in Emory Jones is something that I think is kind of underlooked as far as it goes nationally. I think we see it a lot here, especially, in the interviews and the different ways that Emory has been in front of the media and that Satterfield has talked about Emory. But I think the sense is that, Emory has shown what he is, but I think we've mentioned it quite a lot. That the staff feels like he's the guy enough to the point where, they vetted Ben Bryant as well. And that obviously went the way that it did. And so they feel like they've got their guy. And, Emory's saying he's getting ready to ball out and wants to run the football more, this, that, and the other. So I think that's something that, if you can untap that gem that was Emory Jones coming out of high school and bring that out, that obviously will go a huge, huge way. And we'll see that when camp fires up, see how he is able to kind of hit the bright lights running, if you will, and see if he can't lead the team. I think that'll be one of my biggest is just what kind of the gamer mentality he has. Right. Aaron, you're what's like a main storyline? I know Keegan had a good article just kind of breaking down 5 different storylines to track throughout camp. What's yours heading into camp?
We kind of talked about this last night on the nightcap, but I don't know. For me, I mean, Chad kind of talked about running back enough where I'm not going to really touch that one again. Wide receiver, I think at this point we've said all that needs to be said about wide receiver. Same thing about quarterback. We know what the storyline is at quarterback, and it's one name really at this point. That all said, I'm looking at tight end because once you get past Shimon Mateer, we've seen Peyton Singletary around. We've not seen him get a ton of game snaps. So I think I'm curious to see if he can make that step forward to even challenge for a starting spot or at least make the leap to where he's a viable option, both with hands and also if you got him in there, I'm hoping he's a sure blocker at this point. But after Peyton, what do you got?
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge question mark. So that's for me. I think that's, as we look at the offense, I think that's his biggest storyline as anything really at this point.
Yeah, Caleb Schmitz obviously is a name to throw out there potentially as another tight end, but yeah, like you said, it's Shimon, and Shimon hasn't really had any game reps either. So
I also think they're really high on Peyton Singletary.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, don't get me wrong. That's
really high on Peyton Singletary.
That's a good thing, but
he had a very good spring game too.
There was a good deal of talk about the tight end room in the SAT interview. So check that out. And I do think he talked about Shimon, like we need Shimon to be more physical inside. Like we need him to be more of a presence blocking. That's not Singletary's not 6'5", 260 pounds or whatever, Right. Shimon's a dude that you're going to need him to do both when he's on the field.
Right.
Yeah. So he's going to have to get better at that. But as far as like being a pass catching threat, They really like Peyton, and Shaman can do that as well. But they need one of the two to be able to block and to be able to help in the running game and in pass pro on chips and things like that. So that'll be
how much more?
interesting to see.
How much more does that add to his routes if he can block somebody and hold a block for a couple seconds and then leak out?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Chip and be able to be a factor.
Or at the very least, when you're in and can block, like you're blocking, and they don't know if you're going to actually be running a route or if you're going to be blocking. Whereas, when some of the other guys have been in, I don't feel like Josh. When Josh was in, you felt like Josh was going to be running a route more often than blocking.
Yeah, I mean, but Josh also became a much better blocker over time.
Sure,
like that was definitely his. He was a pass catcher for 2.5, 3 years, but as he advanced his career, he wasn't. Josh is nuts. Like Josh will stick his face in there. He'll put his face in the fan.
And
some would say.
And Shaman's only going into his second year.
Yeah, third.
Well, he redshirted his first year, did he not?
Yeah, but it's the third year in the program.
Well,
third year of college football.
I was going to say it's a new program, but
yeah, it still says Cincinnati.
Yeah, I get it.
Right here.
In a very small print. Really small print. Stitched on there.
Not stitched, ironed on.
Ironed on.
No, it was stitched. It was stitched.
It was stitched.
It was
wow.
stitched. Yes, it was. Right.
Very small.
Can we at least get the same color white next time?
I need to do that to all of my V-neck T-shirts that I wear. I'm gonna stitch Cincinnati right there,
and just make sure that the background's a slightly off color.
Yeah, just a little different white than the uniform.
Yeah, I mean,
enhanced.
Yeah. I think for me, another storyline on top of everything you guys have said is as 247 Sports just released their top 10 defensive lines of the upcoming football season. Cincinnati not on there, but there was no Big 12 team on there. Is kind of, we touched on it last week. It's just the defensive line as a whole. Who is going to be the one to step up with the new change of defense and get after the quarterback? We kind of went in depth on that last week. And I do think that is still the case. Is Daniel Gresham going to be the one that steps up and fills that void? Obviously you see Ivan Pace tearing things up in Minnesota already, which is to no surprise for Bearcat fans. But it's a pretty big hole that Ivan leaves in the pass rushing department. So who's going to be able to step up there? Is it going to be Gresham? Who knows? But 247 Sports.
Actually, the interesting thing, Gresham's another one I talked to Sad about specifically. And he said at Utah State, he was predominantly an edge rusher. Yeah. But that they've been happily satisfied with as a linebacker, like dropping into some coverage and being able to, if you're I get the sense the way that they talk about things. And I've said this. I know they don't label it this way.
Yeah.
It looks like a 3-4 defense to me.
Right.
But the outside edge rushing stand-up linebacker on one side, on the weak side, on the strong side, you've got the guy that's kind of a safety linebacker hybrid that can play in coverage.
Right. You've
got the two middles essentially in I missed Aaron. Aaron's gonna be mad at me too. And Dingle and Dorian Jones. He was raving about Dingle in the middle of one of the questions. And I wanted to cut him off and go, some may say he looks like an Adonis. But he continued long enough and started talking about something else that where if I went back to it, it would have been uncomfortable. The timing was off, and I was so mad inside on the other side of the camera going, damn it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Some may say it looks like an Adonis, but it didn't. He might have kicked me out of his office.
If you would have leaned back and started the hand motion.
No, yeah. If you would have done literally that, and
he would
for
have stopped
you listeners, as Aaron said, Chaz leaning back and doing the Adonis pose.
I will work it in at camp. There is going to be a time at camp that he's going to talk about Jack Dingle.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask him about, some may say he looks like an Adonis.
Now, is Jacob still around the program, or is he?
Yeah. He's still around. He just has a broken neck. So
pretty severe.
Yeah, I from what I've heard, it's not the same injury, but it's kind of similar to what Justin Harris kind of went through. Okay. So it does sound like, it's not,
the window's not closed.
Yeah, and it's also not like something that's going to impact his life.
Okay.
For a long time. I don't know if he'll be back to playing football, but it doesn't sound like it's something that has like a negative connotation long term in his well-being.
Right.
So that's good.
It'll also be interesting. I saw the roster was obviously updated on Bearcats.com, and it did list Taj Ward at the star position with Deshaun Pace.
I don't know that that's accurate.
Oh, is he saying safety?
Yeah, I think safety. I think Taj is going to get first crack. Well, here's the thing. So I think if Deshaun got dinged up or had to come out, I do think Taj would go to the star.
Right.
But for now, I think going into camp, Taj is probably the leader at strong safety with threats at free safety, and then DJ Taylor is the kind of flex guy, that can come in at either of those spots. So I would list him as a safety because I think there's a good chance he starts at safety or plays a lot of safety, because Deshaun's not coming off the field in terms of his importance at that position.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think if something happened where you needed, like Ken Willis is listed as the backup to Deshaun Pace. That surprised me.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Like that's a big glow up for Ken Willis. Something about those Colerain guys at that position.
Or in general.
Just in general. Just the Colerain guys in general.
Gosh.
I'm dropping nuggets tonight. Like I feel good. I feel good. Like I feel like we're starting to hit our stride in covering and being up to date and aware of things. It took a little time. Unfortunately, some things had happened this spring that delayed that progress, but I feel like we're starting to ramp up and hit full speed now.
There we go, man. Always growing and including relationships. Yeah. So it'll be good. Yeah. Obviously, this is going to be a situation where, as everyone else gets to figure each other out, the team's figuring each other out too. It's going to be a long, not necessarily long. It's going to be a growing process, I imagine. And I imagine there might be some days where the practice report doesn't sound too glowing. But there could be days where the practice report's saying it looks like a team that could surprise a lot of people. So that's kind of more what I'm excited about. But I guess along the lines of the Taj Ward situation, it's probably just getting your best 11 out there on the defense side. And Taj has had quite the career at UC.
He's played. People don't realize that he's played a lot of football.
Oh, he's played a ton. He was pretty much the nickel back the entire past year, and then
him and Sammy kind of rotated and went in and out for each other in that role. Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, it's a guy that's played a lot of football, and who knows, maybe the fresh start with the new staff kind of gets him reinvigorated, and he wants to go out on a high note.
Do you know what the biggest storyline is that I'm looking forward to that's not roster related?
What?
I'm looking forward to the coach's reaction to Camp Higher Ground.
Yeah, we talked about that with him in the very beginning. They've been out there, obviously.
Right. You get a lay of the land, but you don't really get a feel for what Camp Higher Ground is.
No, they think they know. Like, again, I'd say it's a little bit shorter of a stay by a couple days than we've seen before. Now, some of that I haven't looked. Some of that is impacted by when is the official start of class, because you have to get back. Obviously, you can't be out there when class starts. But usually they find a way, once they know, to make sure that they get as many days at higher ground as they can get. Like, Fickle stopped doing what they're doing this week, which is where they spend those first 2 days, the acclimation period where you're not allowed to wear pads, you're just in helmets and shorts.
Right.
At the beginning, Fickle did those 2 days on campus. I know Tuberville used to do those 2 days on campus. But then as they start to realize, like, oh, this place is special. Like, we need to get out there as soon as possible. That has changed in the past. Be interesting to see next year if we're still doing a couple days at Nippert, or if it's like, okay, everybody reports on this day, we traveled at higher ground the next day, and then camp starts the day after that. That's how it got to be with Vic. And COVID screwed everything. Who the hell? Never.
Of course.
It was all a disaster.
It really, and then a global pandemic hit the scene. I tell you what. Did you listen to the most?
That's what I said.
Yeah, right, exactly. Did you listen to the most recent New Heights podcast? They were kind of touching a bit on Camp Higher Ground.
What they had to say. I'll check it out. I'm gonna have a lot of time to listen to podcasts starting this weekend because I'm gonna be driving to Higher Ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Regularly.
Right. Jason said the food was phenomenal. Travis said the food was trash. And then Travis was
Travis is bougie.
Right. And then Travis was like, well, maybe I'm just not remembering it right. And Jason was like, yeah, you aren't remembering it right. This is the best part about Camp Higher Ground.
Always trust a guy who looks like he's a foodie.
Yeah, listen to the fat guy. You're gonna listen to the skinny guy on what the food at Higher Ground was like?
Right, exactly. So it'd be interesting just hearing the initial comments from everyone, like you guys were saying. So can't wait to fire it up, man. It's wild that it's back. Football is back. And
we made it through summer. Oh,
summer.
It was rough.
We had one last kind of weird pod, like we live watching the damn Nasty Natty, and it's gonna be great. Like listening in the car on podcasting and be like, what are these guys doing right now? It was good. We made it though. But yeah, it
looks like we made it.
Look how we come, my baby. So defensive back JUCO. Diablo Valley College, Jabril White. The only thing you got to do when you are talking about Jabril White is read this comment that he gave Keegan. I'm a versatile player. I can play anywhere and go crazy. I can shut down an entire side of the field at corner, and when I'm at safety, nothing gets behind me. I allowed 0 catches in the hardest JUCO conference. I feel like that speaks for itself. That's a confident man right there.
Yeah.
But a very interesting case when it comes to him. He's available this year, 2023 class. And Chad, I believe you did tweet that he is going to be available this week.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Interesting.
And he retweeted to confirm. He retweeted to confirm.
He's got defensive back written all over him. Anything on Jabril White?
They're excited about long term with Jabril White. Now it's obviously going to take some time for him to get up to speed.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he's one of those guys that could be a camp shock. Like we've had that before, where somebody comes in late. Dino Boyd, like nobody knew really anything about Dino Boyd. Like they needed a tackle, mm-hmm. and they were hopeful that Dino Boyd could come in and be a factor, and then he ended up being one of the best left tackles of the past 15 years or so in his one season here. So I'm not saying that he's going to be that level, but if he gets out there and makes plays and picks up on things quickly, could be a surprise of camp. Could be a guy that, you didn't really think a lot of in terms of impact in the 2023 season that makes a splash. There's room there to move up the depth chart for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. especially if it's a player like this, just having an available scholarship this late in the game and taking on a player like this, it's a calculated move as well. So
I had another nugget from today, and
okay,
I don't want to spoil everything because you need to go listen to the interview with Sat.
exactly.
But he said Joey Belgium's running, and
Whoa,
yeah, didn't rule out that he was out for the year.
okay, interesting.
I was surprised by that. That's a torn ACL in March.
Yep.
But guys are getting back in 8-9 months now. Some of them, if they heal quickly, at a tight end spot, you don't necessarily, and he could just be like a sub package goal line guy or a guy that you could use on short yardage, where if he is cleared and can get back on the field, that you're just using him in very specific settings. But there was some optimism on Joey Belgium during the Scott Satterfield interview today that he isn't necessarily completely ruled out for the year.
Don't hate that.
That would adhere to your tight end room monitoring, Aaron. Dropping nuggets.
Brian Johnson says you're dropping nuggets like a horse in a parade. I'm going to counter that with
horses in a parade drop shit.
I'm going to counter that with dropping nuggets like the Amish on a state road.
That's very familiar to Aaron and where he deals with and drives. If you run over a few nuggets,
the Amish go past the driveway.
Yeah,
regularly.
Of course.
Just saying.
Yeah. Do they drop nuggets in front of your house?
It was not far the other day. I had to swerve.
Swerve?
I'm not trying. Dude, come on.
Run over it and it just splatters all up into the inside of your car.
I'm rolling with the windows down. I'm not trying to hit any.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, you just keep rolling. You're like, gosh, I swear I did not toot, but for some reason it's
a little stinky in here.
It's still stinky in here. Yeah, I mean that's another one to obviously monitor, Chad. I don't know. Did you get confirmation on Helton? Is he done? Do you know? Or
he's not even on the roster, I don't think.
Oh, he's not. Yeah. I mean, it was funny at the Big 12 Media Days. They listed him as an impact transfer on the ESPN list. So it just shows.
It's funny that now you see that they make those lists just based on where they transferred from.
Right.
If they transfer from somewhere good, then they must be an impact player. That's not how it works, people.
No, not at all. But so yeah, that's some cool nugs right there. So yeah, very confident defensive back, JUCO transfer, available now. Just another name to track. And then the hometown hero movement is still quite alive and well. Quentin Zombie Price, defensive back.
Zombie Gravy,
yeah,
they're doing well in the nickname department.
6'3", 172. That is right up the.
It's a good size human.
Marcus Freeman,
Yeah, go get all the 6'2", 175 type guys you can get.
And let me
in
build
your
him
head, in your head.
If he has an interception or something, they have to play.
You gotta play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
R.I.P. Sinead O'Connor. It has nothing to do with the Cranberries, but just
I'm pretty sure
she was not, in fact, the lead singer for the Cranberries. Are you implying Sinead O'Connor looked like a zombie? Is that what we're getting at here?
For a blip in my mind. For a blip.
Okay. Wow, rails. We are off of them.
I got a great Cranberries story. I'll tell when we are off the air.
Were you thinking nothing compares to you? Is that where you were rolling there, Aaron?
Sure.
There we go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was it.
But Quentin Zombie Price, good size, 19th commit in the 2024 class. So
my God.
they are filling up heavy on the scholarships so far for 2024. Seems like a good local product. Continue to get those hometown hero pipelines rolling. Held offers from West Virginia, Kentucky, Syracuse, and Purdue. Any more thoughts on Price?
No, I think a good long-term prospect can play both corner and safety. Probably at that size and length projects to a safety. But I'll ask Dave about this Wednesday. Dave said he saw a lot of sauce in his tape.
Oh.
But and comparing high school tape to high school tape, that they looked similar as high school prospects because of their length, because of their size. So
let's cover back over that before someone tries to cut it. Like, we got another sauce in the mix now.
No, just like when you compare high school tape. Now, Sauce obviously took the high school tape and turned it into elite. What's next?
Sauce is graduating from University of Louisville this week.
Some of these people, man.
Wait, did someone say that?
Yeah, on Twitter.
What? Who?
I don't even.
It was one of the bullshit Twitter accounts.
Oh, okay.
The aggregate farmers, I think.
Gosh. Well, that's actually cool though that they are they're gonna have that on Hard Knocks. That was a fun thing to have. Sauces. I mean, Sauce is the dude. He's just. I don't think
he's going to be at this rate. He's going to be one of the biggest stars in the NFL.
Yeah,
especially like you get this bump from Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
like if he's who we know he is, he's going to come out of Hard Knocks an even bigger star than he already was, because it's going to humanize him and people are going to realize how good of a dude he actually is. Exactly. I think he gets a lot of hate because they see the flash and the bling and they think that he's somebody that he's not.
Right.
Like when you humanize him in an element like that all of the football world is watching, I do think like he's going to come out even better on the other side of this. So yeah, it's really cool for him, man. He's such a good dude. He's such a down to earth, like really, really humble, good guy.
Well, and just take it, the most recent Squat Fest that we were all at, Sauce was there just chopping it up with everyone. We almost had him on this pod, but I guess he kind of blew up a little bit too quick for us, but it is what it is.
Busy running his own Twitch channel.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll be able to Twitch with him. What is it? Is it twitching? Can we join his Twitcher? I don't know.
No, that's not it.
And how about X, man? X is weird, dude. I'm not about this X Twitter.
Yeah, I don't like looking at my phone and seeing an X on there. Like I'm not.
It's the same.
It makes me not want to go there.
It's the same thing, but still, it's like I keep getting notifications. It's just a little X. It's like
I don't like the letter X. It's not my thing.
I mean,
I don't like seeing it on my phone.
3 of the kids in this house all have X's in their names, so I'm totally
maybe
good
you're
with
a closet Xavier fan.
Yeah, that's it.
I was gonna say it took Aaron long enough to
figure out what we were talking about.
Look, I'm still reeling on the Sinead comment.
No hair equals zombie.
No, zombie. Yeah, Bearcats didn't get another sauce. They got a new zombie. How about that? We'll go.
Yeah,
we'll roll
don't pour
that.
gravy on the zombie.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's how you defeat zombies. We just don't know it.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, people were clamoring, needing more hometown heroes, and there's a hometown hero, Taft High School. So, yeah, cool addition. And if he turns out anything like one Sauce Gardner, then he will have himself an awesome time at Cincinnati. And another cool thing, LeBron James tweeting out about Garrett Wilson and Sauce, kind of iron, sharpens iron type situation. So, whenever you get that kind of,
I think that FE2 is what they call that.
Something like that. FE2, yeah.
UC fans maybe would call it FU2, but
yeah, probably. It's funny though because gosh, I wanted to ask Mike about his thoughts on Nico because it looks like him and Nico would be boys. So, but
I get Sat talked about Nico for a little bit. You can find that right here on this YouTube channel. Exclusive interview with Scott Satterfield.
Like, retweet,
subscribe,
reacts, I guess. Yeah, we call it
reacts.
They call it a repost. They've already rebranded that. Come on, guys, get it together.
How dumb do you have to be to take something that has become like just a normal part of our like daily wording and lives and go, let's get rid of that. Let's not take something that's become an actual major part of American culture and build on it. We got to get rid of it.
Call it repost. What is this?
Yeah,
Facebook?
repost. It's reposting, not retweeting.
This is Facebook. We're now Zucker. It's all happening. It's gonna be Zuckerberg versus.
They just steal everything from each other.
Yeah,
it's fine.
There we go. I love it. Aaron, you've been killing it with the Bearcats in the NFL. Want to run through? Oh, before we move on, big announcement tomorrow. Jason Patterson, running back.
I know nothing. I'm saying nothing.
Oh no. I'm just mentioning that he tweeted it, and so that's tomorrow. If the Cats are able to land Patterson, that would be a massive addition. But Bearcats in the NFL. Darian Beavers, starting linebacker. Tyler Scott making plays.
I said that was one of my big things to watch last week.
Right.
Did you see who's behind him?
Guy who once sat at the Thanksgiving table at Indiana.
Yeah. Took the coach's son away from the said table. Golly.
Here's a Bearcat. You can play behind him, son.
It's best that way.
But I do want to hear your guys' thoughts and reactions on that the James Hudson little mini fight. Yeah.
I mean, what a bitch that guy was to like
hilarious.
Smack him in the head and run.
That was so funny.
I give props to James Hudson for tracking that man down.
Yeah. That's James Hudson, though. Like, that's James Hudson.
We saw it in the Georgia game. He will track you down.
You in the face and get kicked out of the game and probably cost you the Peach Bowl. Like that, he is about that life.
Well, it was stupid though. It was stupid though that they made the whole team run laps for that shit.
Yeah, because don't be a bitch. That guy was a bitch.
Cut him.
Yeah.
Put him at the bottom of you run laps, sir. You run laps.
No, you're teaching the whole team. Don't be a bitch like that guy.
You want to smack and run? Keep running.
It was funny. The video was funny, but it did give me a little PTSD to the Peach Bowl game. Gosh. But then, hey, Mets came in and Mets played okay. I don't know.
No. Olajari, is that the guy?
Yeah, the defensive end. Yeah.
He put Mets over his knee and spanked.
Yeah, the entire Philadelphia Eagles roster was on that Georgia team. But
Alec Pierce, though, Alec Pierce looked good with that pass from.
Yep.
Anthony Richardson.
And we mentioned it last week as well. The Jerome Ford probably going to see a heightened level of touches. And
Dez has looked a little off, but he had a good day 4. I know he had a good day 4. People were happy with his 4th day.
Just got to win. Just got to not turn the ball over and win football games. And that's one thing that dude could do is win football games.
He has a tendency to do that.
Yeah. So, of course, that'll be something to continue to track as well as the NFL. Bearcats in the NFL. That is a blowing up.
I have to. If I look for guys' names, I have to literally look up like 30 dudes' names at this point.
Oh yeah.
31. There's 31 guys in camp.
Some guys have gotten cut already.
Okay. Whatever.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's
okay. Well, let's anything more football wise. Obviously, it's going to fire up a bunch over the next week. If not, we can timestamp and mailbag it.
Fine. Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. They provide mostly disposable restaurant supplies, products like to-go containers, cups, pizza boxes, to-go bags, can liners, napkins, etc. They've been open since 2009 and are one of the largest minority-owned companies in the city. Call Nick at 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases.
All right. It is a deep mailbag here in the last mailbag before camp starts. Not upset about that. I know
Aaron, if you're going to talk about guys getting cut, who got cut?
I know Lorenzo Metz is the only one I can remember off the top of my head. He got cut by Chicago. I'm not sure that anybody picked him up since, but offensive line is never a position where too many guys float out there for too long. So we'll see. But that's the only one I can remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
So, but in this extremely deep mailbag, starting off with the football portion, was Preston Bowman 25 offered when he was at the camp? It looks like several of the other 25 campers were offered and 2 have committed.
It was an offer. Did the kid report an offer? If he did, then he was offered. If he didn't, then he probably wasn't. I don't know.
Are you looking it up, Brent?
I am not. No, I'll look it up there real quick.
It's 2025. I'm.
Well, I know people get excited when they saw Chris Henry commit, and
Yeah, but he's going to be like one of the top 10 recruits in the class. Like that's a
elite,
little bit different animal.
I was just trying to offer maybe a reason.
Yeah, my answer is I don't know.
Let me see here. Yeah, go ahead and ask the next one. I'll look up real quick. I'm not seeing it. There we go. Had a great visit at University of Cincinnati. Great place to be. Can't wait to go back for a game. So he did post that he got an offer there after the visit, but we'll see.
All right, and the final question of the football portion of the mailbag: what happens more in games this season? We score more than 35 points, or give up more than 25 points?
Probably give up more than 25.
I would agree.
Yeah, I mean,
you can win games by scoring less than 35.
Yeah, you can win games 32-27.
Yeah,
it's possible.
You can. I'm trying to think. At last year, it was. Let's see here. One game they gave up more.
Not many. I just look. This is a league where teams score points. Like there's going to be a couple games where somebody gets you. Like so, and with this offense, maybe I'll have a different answer in 3 weeks.
Week 3, week 2.
Yeah, no. Like maybe I'll even have a different answer as we go through camp.
Yeah.
And the offense potentially looks good, and I can be like, hey, I'm feeling a little bit better about this offense. But for right now, 35 is 5 touchdowns in a game. Let's see what they do over the next couple weeks in West Harrison, Indiana, and then I'll maybe have a better answer for that.
And
we also haven't.
Go ahead.
We also haven't seen the kicker, so we don't even know what the kicking game looks like.
We saw him in spring.
Well,
Carter Brown here in the spring.
He was good.
Okay.
He was
I meant
good.
He played last year.
In game with pressure.
He made 14 of 17 kicks last year at Arizona State. Like he's solid. Like we're not worried about it in trash, garbage. Like
fair.
We at least have some idea with him.
Right.
All right. You had another point, Brent, or are we moving on?
Yeah, I was just gonna say in the non-high scoring, crazy, non-offensive excitement AAC last year, there was 4 games overall that the opposing team scored 25 or more points. So I think that's kind of a given that it'll probably happen. Probably happen a lot more.
All right. That's the football portion of the mailbag. The basketball portion of the mailbag. The one and only question here. With the home and home with Georgia Tech added, what are the group's thoughts on Miller's non-conference scheduling during his time at UC and for this upcoming season?
I think it's been done with so much unknown that it's hard to really know, like grasp what is the long-term scheduling philosophy. You know, you had a year, essentially a lame duck year in the AAC, where if you start a home and home, like a high level home and home, and then all of a sudden you're in this challenge and you're doing this, the conference has got you doing that, and now your scheduling is overdone. And then this year you're playing your first year in the Big 12. Like, you're going to play 18 essentially like high level games. So you maybe want to ease into it. And there's also, this roster has turned out like there's nobody left from John Brandon, right? Well, Vic is the only guy left from the John Brandon era. So it's, you know, it's probably a little safe, but safe to me makes sense given what we've seen in terms of uncertainty as Wes has been here and his staff has been building a schedule.
I'm going to go a little different here. I truly don't care about the non-conference schedule.
Not anymore.
Not exactly.
Right.
Like, you're in the Big 12, so it doesn't matter to me. Do what you do. Schedule who you want to schedule. Don't schedule who you don't want to schedule. I don't care one way or the other, personally. I'm no longer a season ticket holder, so it doesn't bother me there because I live 2.5 hours away. So, I mean, it is what it is. And I understand if you are a season ticket holder wanting to see some good games. I do get that. But for me, like I said, I mean, personally, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm kind of on your side there too, Aaron. It's just there's so many, and especially with like this roster and so many new faces, and who's going to kind of step up and be that, you know, go-to scorer. I don't want them to face a gauntlet of an out of conference schedule, and then all of a sudden you're coming in with like 3 bad losses to, you know, solid teams. But who knows? It also could be a way to say, hey, well, they need to face some competition before they go into the Big 12, and it's going to be a night in and night out grueling task to take on these teams. But I think as far as getting those quad 1, quad 2 games, it doesn't really.
You don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, because you're going to have
all
that,
of them are going to
every
be
night.
quad 1, quad 2.
I'm not saying
exactly.
Late December
I'm not saying don't
through March.
Right.
I'm not saying don't schedule anybody, but, you know, I mean, I just don't put literally at this point in my life any thought into the non-conference schedule. They're going to schedule some people. They're going to be in a tournament more often than not, some type of tournament at the beginning of the season. So,
I mean, luckily the crossout shootout is going to be a high-level game year in and year out for the most
I love
part.
the people that are like, well, they don't schedule the crosstown shootout. Yes, they do. It is on the schedule, so therefore it is scheduled. Like, yeah, that's part of the schedule. Like, well, you don't get to count the crosstown shootout. Yeah, you do. Those two teams have they have the option not to play that game.
We saw entirely too much of what goes into planning that game during COVID.
Right. So no, they actually schedule, Xavier. It's on the schedule. That means it's scheduled. So it's factored in. Like, give me a break with some of the. Is 2 seasons considered an era? Because I said it is. Yes. It's my network. I can say whatever the hell I want.
We offered them to go to their house for 2 straight years if they come to our house for 1 year. That's part of the John Brandon video there. Our guy.
Anyway, that's the basketball portion of the mailbag, and the last and final question of the mailbag from the Banks portion. From the Banks portion of the mailbag, rapid fire. What is worse, 7 teenage girls running around your house till 2:30 in the morning, or a prostate exam?
Prostate exam.
Every time.
I have not had.
Yeah, every time. I have not had a prostate exam myself, and I still would say that
confidently.
Yeah. Look, the good news is Kelsey has a really good group of friends. So they're loud and they're teenage girls, but they're good. Like, you're not.
They also go home.
Yeah, like in the morning they woke up and most of them left, and then later all of them left, and by the end of Sunday night, it was just the one teenage girl. So it's fine.
All right, charcuterie, yay or nay?
Yes.
I don't hate it.
I enjoy it on one condition, that it's inside and not outside. Don't give me your outside charcuterie.
Yeah, it's a winter thing, a fall, winter. Like it's not a summer.
I
Don't put a
don't want-
bunch of like sizzling meats out on a slab of wood, meats and cheeses. Yeah,
Nope.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on
There,
that.
well, there's a
Put it in the
restaurant
kitchen.
here.
We'll go inside.
Right. There's a restaurant here that has a really good charcuterie board, and it's hot and it's open air, and so yeah. But I get
but you're going there for dinner though. You're not going to have a party where you're going to pick on
Oh, yeah.
food for
Right.
3 to 4 hours.
true.
Right.
True.
And now the meat's sweaty, the cheese is also sweaty because the meat was sweat.
It's
Everything's
kind of
weird.
melted. It's gross.
There's
texture
fruit
is
that's
wrong.
not cold anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
Nah.
and charcuterie is an inside thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
If yay, what do you like on your adult lunchable board?
Italian meats, salty Italian meats, and crackers and cheese. I don't need any of the other shit. I just need salty Italian meats, crackers, and cheese. That's all I need. Maybe a pepper jelly, if you want to get fancy.
Okay. Yeah, I need some
all
good
those.
cheese. Give me some damn good cheese. I
Yeah.
want something a little stanky to kind of keep you coming back and like what's going on here? What is this Fandango cheese? And you eat it and you're like, it's pretty good.
My only rule on stanky cheese is I just don't want to feel like I ate a fart. Like I don't
Right.
want to have that flavor in my mouth.
Right. Are you like a pate guy? Are you
It depends. Like it depends.
Okay.
I'm not absolutely no, but I'm not like a quick yes.
right. No, I got you. Yeah, I mean, I
Brent, what are your thoughts on caviar?
love it. It's good.
Are you a little like on the
Yeah, I can do that.
little,
But
little
I actually
spoon?
like I pile it on because it's salty, and,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, well, I just ate the whole entire caviar dish. I don't know what the hell's going on
That
next.
was $387 cracker.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, it's whatever. I mean, it's fine.
What is happening?
He's so bougie. Like I like to point it out when I get the chance.
No, you like caviar too.
I can't offer anything to this conversation.
Do you like a lox bagel, Aaron? Little
What?
capers on there.
Cream cheese and raw salmon, like thinly sliced salmon.
I mean, if somebody's got it out, I'll eat it, but I'm not going out of my way to
It's
make
good.
that ever.
Smoked salmon. It's super good. Anyway, yeah. Continue.
What was the best lunch day in school growing up? Pizza day, taco day, tater tot day?
We actually were just having this conversation. I had some high school friends that came to Kelsey's birthday party. One of them I haven't seen since his wedding in like 2003. He's an undercover operative for the military, so I can't talk too much about it. But we used to have, and I think we were like the only people, we had taco boats that are now kind of popular, the hard shell taco boats where the hard shell, like flat with the sides and lettuce and cheese. Those were phenomenal. And then chicken nuggets with barbecue sauce. And then you put the barbecue sauce, a little bit of it on your mashed potatoes. Those are my two favorites.
We had rotini bake day was always a good day.
Oh, we never had anything like that.
I'm just saying, rotini bake day was a good day. And then I don't care what it was served with, but cheesy mashed potatoes. It was usually, I think, the leftover mashed potatoes that didn't get eaten with the gravy. So they threw the gravy out and then they just smothered it in some melted cheese.
And it was good.
Oh my God, it was good.
No reaction to barbecue sauce on mashed potatoes. I've had people be like, "That is disgusting," and then I'm like, "Put a little dab of barbecue sauce on your mashed potatoes," and they eat it and they go, "Oh my God, that's delicious." Yeah,
that doesn't surprise me because I've done French fries and barbecue sauce. That's delicious.
Yeah. It's really good.
Polynesian sauce is my go-to for French fries. Yeah. Whatever.
And in high school, I packed lunch pretty much every day. But
you had a charcuterie board and you're fucking.
No. My mom, shouts to Tracy, she made a killer sandwich every day. But anyway, whenever I did buy lunch,
what kind of bread? Hold on, time out.
Yeah.
Time out. What kind of bread are we talking about on these sandwiches that you had every day? like 2 slices of white bread, or was like she doing a baguette or like a sub hoagie
she
roll?
wasn't getting that crazy. It was like a
Okay.
wheat bread, you know.
Okay, that's fine. All right,
Nothing
that's
nuts.
fine.
Nothing
Okay,
nuts.
that's fine.
But
Just trying to figure. We're trying to work on
right.
Brent's actual bougie scale.
Oh, it's
every sandwich had lettuce. 100%. Every sandwich had lettuce.
Mayonnaise, man. It was good. It was good. But so what my lunch place was known for, if you know, whenever I did buy lunch, was really, really good buffalo chicken sandwiches. Like, and you know, then you kind of develop a relationship with one of the lunch ladies. Not that kind of relationship, but a relationship. And before you know it, she'll give you the hookup on the best one. She'll say, "Here you go, Brent." And then before you know it, juicy, thick, just it was good. Really, really good.
Made it extra sloppy for you.
Oh, yeah. And they had really good cookies.
Aaron, I will tell you this. The one dig on me that Xavier fans have had that made me actually laugh over the years was that I sound like that lunch lady because of the cigarettes. They're like, "Oh, why are you listening to him? He sounds just like that lunch lady." Was that Tommy Boy? And I was like,
Chris Farley.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good one. You got me on that one. I can't complain. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is.
All right. And Brent, follow-up question on the Lunchables. What wine pairs best with the pizza Lunchables?
The answer is always Capri Sun. And I know that's not a wine, but I will, until the day I die, I will drink Capri Sun with a Lunchable.
So you want to know something funny?
Yeah.
I was at Costco. I ran to Costco Thursday to get the drinks for the party because, you know, and I was going through all the drink stuff and I was like, you know what? I don't think there's going to be, like, we're past the stage. My friends are old, like, unless my one cousin came that has like 2 toddlers age kids, there's not going to be anybody here that drinks Capri Suns. But I still bought a 40-pack of Capri Suns. And now I got like 37 Capri Suns in my fridge.
Okay.
That I'm going to have a Capri Sun with lunch pretty much every day for a long time.
There we go.
Look,
you know,
Capri Suns are fucking delicious.
I mean, you know what the kids do these days, or I guess
they put alcohol in them.
The adults, yeah, and then they use an iron or a hair straightener to shut it close. Yeah.
So they do, like, they have these like
cut off the top.
You cut off the top of like a resealable bag, and you iron it, and then you stick a straw in it, and you put Capri Sun, or like make your own Capri Sun with alcohol. Yeah, adult Capri Suns. This just changed Aaron's life. Next Monday, he's gonna have an adult Capri Sun. Like,
yeah,
just go to YouTube and look up, or go on TikTok and look up adult Capri Suns.
It's good for the whole, like, music festivals and whatnot. You can take in a bunch of Capri Suns, and they're like, oh, Capri Suns, right on, dude. And then little do they know, it's all just vodka, every single one.
That's the mailbag. Get us out of here, Brent.
And there's an adult Lunchables that I think they sold at like Kroger or something. You see those? It's got like meat, and then
it's called the deli.
And charcuterie board. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, nothing else, guys. Huge week coming up. Obviously, camp starting up.
We're gonna be busy.
It's gonna be a lot of fun because that football season right around the corner, man. I was just turned on random replay of a game from this past season. It was, Syracuse versus Clemson and whatever. But gosh, it just got the juices flowing a little bit because football's pretty much back. But man, it's gonna be wall-to-wall coverage still here as camp gets ready to fire up. But if nothing else, a huge thank you, of course, to Mike Rayfelt for hopping on, giving us some good time here. Thank you for sticking with us through the Nasty Natty live viewing party.
Apologies for those who aren't watching on YouTube for that portion of the show.
Just fast forward like that. I know it's a little late to tell you, but that 15 minutes, you probably
you'll be fine. Of course, a huge thank as well to Danco Transmission Auto Care. Huge thank you to Quick Paper Supply. But you know what, guys? If without further ado, it's just time to say goodbye. But listen to the interview with Scott Satterfield. Stay tuned in for BCJ. It's going to have wall-to-wall coverage of camp as it fires up. But for my guys, my pals, Ryan, we missed you, by the way. Love you, Royer. We'll see you next week. But for my guys, my pals, Aaron Smith, Chad Brendel, I am Brent Young. Another fantastic BBP presented by BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.